XRP has to be one of the most bullish crypto projects in this space right now. And I don't even think that it's comparable. A lot of people will say, no, it's this project or it's that project, and that's okay. Everyone has their own opinions, but I just don't see how anything is coming close to XRP right now. In this video, I want to go over a lot of things. I actually want to stress exactly how bullish crypto itself is right now, but also put a spotlight on XRP. Just starting off, right? The XRP case. Let's go all the way back to when we first got the announcement of the XRP case. Right here. I also want you guys to understand that we're looking at monthly candles here. Since December of 2020. This year, it would have made 5 years since we got the announcement. In December, it would have been 5 years. It's been 4 years and 6 months. Think about how crazy that is. For 4 years, 4.5 years, 4.5 years of just pressure building behind XRP. I stress this because the case is basically done. We're going to talk about that, but I also want to talk about the altcoin market. Alt season is not here yet. We are in a Bitcoin season, and XRP is still at $2+ Think about how bullish this is. XRP is still at $2+. And we're still in a Bitcoin season, and we have the biggest part of the cycle still left in front of us, which leads to the biggest moves for altcoins. And XRP is still at $2+. That's insane. Now, on top of that, XRP Bitcoin. So as we wait for alt season to officially hit, we have to focus on the XRP Bitcoin pair. Because like I said, we're still in a Bitcoin season, but the fact that XRP is squeezing like this on the XRP Bitcoin pair, just waiting for a big break, this tells me that we are brewing for a big move. We've been brewing for a big move since going all the way back to January. It's now 162 days of a downtrend. Just for reference, okay? From the July 2023 timeframe to the November timeframe, this was 488 days. Okay? The move off of the low for this was 406%. The reason why I bring this up is because the longer that we trail sideways, the bigger the move in a shorter time frame we get. I'm saying that we've been going sideways for 162 days just in this wedge, but we have yet to actually make a new all-time high. We have been brewing sideways since going all the way back to 2018. And even if we're going off of, the 2021 highs here, that's back in 2021. You got to remember that we have been going sideways basically and in a downtrend since then for well over 1,500 days. That's insane. So when this really does pop, and I mean really pops over these highs back here, XRP is going to skyrocket in value. Now, on top of this, I just shared with you guys this post, right? Where I said people have no idea what's about to hit this market. All I could say is higher, much higher. That was on the 25th, okay? The 25th, things were looking a bit rough for this market. Right now, we're sitting at about 3.28 trillion. Nothing too crazy. But the main thing that I'm looking at is what I told you guys to focus on, which was the M2 supply surging to new all-time highs, which we got. The trade war calming down, which I'm going to talk about this one as well here in a second. Money market funds still at historical levels. Yep. Crypto adoption soaring from institutional players. Yep. Bitcoin dominance nearing macro resistance levels. Yep. Google Trends telling us retail interest is at all-time lows. Yeah, they're not paying attention. Bitcoin and stocks inches away from new all-time highs. And this is what I want to focus on right now, because we just got this. The S&P 500 and NASDAQ at record highs. They just broke new all-time highs. This is what the S&P 500 looks like. 6173 hit a high of about roughly almost 62. And this is very, very bullish. Why? The last time that we broke the high in terms of a new all-time high, it was going off of the July highs. It was back here in September. From that point on, we rallied hard. Now, the crazy thing is that crypto doesn't follow it to a T. Crypto actually lags behind a bit. So while we were going to new all-time highs, crypto was lagging behind. And then once we started to catch up, it went volatile. That's exactly what's going to happen here. We're just under all-time highs for Bitcoin. Most of the altcoins are still ranging, while stocks just made a new all-time high. Also, stocks made a new all-time high while the dollar continues to trail downward. I do expect something like this for the dollar, where we're just kind of selling off a bit and then we're trading to the upside and then we get a nice higher low. This is very similar to the price action that we saw back here in May and even January of 2021. But the dollar is extremely weak, which means risk on assets should be looked at as a very, very bullish opportunity. Nobody is paying attention at this time, and they're not paying attention while XRP is making massive moves. We just saw a few big updates, which I'll go over, but number one, I want to start off with Clarity, right? I talked about this just the other day, the Clarity Act. It's here. The time is now for Clarity. This is from the Financial Services GOP. And they spotlighted David Sax's post, which I did include in a video recently, where we're seeing that bill introduced before August recess, markup first week of September, done by the end of September. We will have Clarity and Genius passed by the end of September of this year. That's insane to me, because that's not even 3 months out at this point. It's 2 months out. Okay? Regulations, new all-time highs for stocks, dollar's extremely weak. I mean, guys, the overall setup here is so crazy. Now let's go back to what I said, which was the trade deals, okay? The trade war and tariffs everyone was so concerned about. Here we have breaking. U.S. Commerce Secretary Lutnick says the U.S.-China trade deal was signed 2 days ago. This was on the 24th. Breaking. President Trump says he signed a trade deal with China yesterday. There was no announcement of this deal yesterday, but we do know that this did get signed. Check this out.
Jameson, everybody wants to make a deal and have a part of it, right? I know you and Howard and Scott are working overtime, making deals with other countries. Remember a few months ago, the press was saying, do you really have anybody of any interest? Well, we just signed with China yesterday, right? Just signed with China. We have everybody. We're not going to make deals with everybody. Some we're just going to send them a letter, say, thank you very much. You're going to pay 25, 35, 45%. That's the easy way to do it. And my people don't want to do it that way. They want to do some of it, but they want to make more deals than I would do. But we're having some great deals. We have one coming up, maybe with India, very big one, where we're going to open up India. Jameson, everybody.
So yeah, we are continuously seeing more and more trade deals happening between the US and other countries. And this is very, very bullish, because it's at a time where, nobody's really paying attention. Everyone was panicky over this. We now have stocks at all-time highs, crypto nearing all-time highs, dollar still extremely weak, regulations around crypto nearing, green light territory. I mean, this is extremely bullish. Everything that we're starting to see is very bullish. It's all lagging factors, but this is extremely bullish. It's telling us exactly what we should be prepared for. Now, let's put a spotlight on XRP. Why is XRP so bullish right now? Well, Robinhood just released new crypto futures for XRP. This is trade micro XRP, Solana, and Bitcoin Friday futures with lower margin requirements and seamless execution with our trading ladder. This just happened because of the announcement between Ripple and the SEC. And if you guys don't remember, Judge Torres basically denied Ripple's overall injunction, which we talked about. If we go over here, we have with this, the ball is back in our court. The court gave us two options: dismiss our appeal, challenging the finding on historic institutional sales, or press forward with the appeal. Stay tuned. Either way, XRP's legal status as not a security remains unchanged. In the meantime, it's business as usual, and that's because Judge Torres has denied the party's motion for an indicative ruling. Now, today, we got a big update, which is Ripple is dropping our cross appeal, and the SEC is expected to drop their appeal, as they previously said. Of course, this comes on a Friday, right? We have to wait until Monday. We're closing this chapter once and for all and focusing on what's most important: building the internet of value. Lock in. Over here, we have the 74% of you that clicked end the case were right. Here we have Judge Torres just gave them two options. If they want out to withdraw the appeals and case stands, it ends, or continue and go through the appeals process. End the appeal, or end the case and appeal. Ripple likes Thursdays. What do you think they will do? Well, the case is basically ending now. This is a very bullish signal. Guys, 4.5 years. I want to stress that one more time. 4.5 years that we had to wait for this. Something very big is happening behind the scenes for Ripple. We already know this because Arthur Brito came back out of nowhere at a time where the entire market in the US is opening up. We're seeing regulations hit big. We're starting to see digital assets being focused on by this admin. I mean, crypto itself is on center stage. We're hearing talks about, crypto being tied to mortgages as well now. I mean, everything that's happening for crypto in the US and even outside of the US right now, it's warning us, it's telling us we should be bullish. We are not bullish enough. I do think that we are about to witness this market wake up in a massive way. And on top of this, Ripple just announced that they're eyeing multiple acquisitions, Ethereum-like upgrades to the XRP Ledger blockchain. Yeah, check this out. Here we have a little bit of a summary. Ripple's in talks for multiple acquisitions, following its $1.25 billion purchase of prime broker Hidden Road earlier this year. The company plans to enhance its XRP ledger with increased programmability and a new lending protocol expected to launch in Q3 of this year. Ripple is leveraging its acquisitions, including crypto custody firms Medico and Standard Custody, to expand its cross-border payment infrastructure in stablecoin RLUSD. Despite limited interest from traditional finance giants, Ripple sees a strategic opportunity in acquiring companies that add value to its ecosystem. The XRP ledger remains tightly controlled, but is evolving to include smart contracts and more flexibility, aiming to balance security with programmability. Ripple announced several June initiatives, including tokenized treasuries, a decentralized exchange, and a partnership with Wormhole for cross-chain asset transfers. Also, within this, we have in April, Ripple acquired Hidden Road for $1.25 billion. A recent partnership with Wormhole was announced in June. By the way, these are the biggest stories of 2025 around Ripple and XRP. I mean, 2025 has been absolutely massive. Between everything that's been happening, I mean, guys, I don't see how XRP could even be close to being bearish at all for anyone. When we think about what's going on here, XRP is on a completely different level, and Ripple is also on a completely different level. These acquisitions, the plans to go forward with multiple acquisitions as well to support the XRP ledger and XRP, this is telling us that we need to buckle up. It's going to be a much bigger year for XRP and for crypto. But going forward, crypto and even XRP itself, it's going to expand. It's going to expand. It's going to be much bigger. It's going to see a lot more money flowing into both of them, including, crypto, obviously, for, stablecoins, tokenization. And XRP, I just think that the investments around XRP from the institutional side, from the retail side, I think that we're going to see a flood. The same goes with the ETFs, right? Now that this case is basically over, what's stopping ETFs? There's no excuse behind ETFs for XRP to be delayed at this point. I think that we are about to witness a major shift around XRP. I'm so excited about this. 4.5 years. I do think that it's going to be worth the wait. We're trading at $2.13 right now. Alt season hasn't even hit in a huge way. Stocks hit an all-time high. Trade deals being made. Regulations hitting. Yeah, much higher in my opinion. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys definitely leave a like, subscribe, set notifications on because of more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.